Good morning and welcome to FloodX. Jim and I'm Lloyd Jones. That's Jim Martin. Jim's my partner. We're going to present this morning on several devices that fit into a new a new IAPMO category. It's called Mechanical Emergency Water Shutoff Systems. And I know this is a new category because I wrote the specifications for the new standards just last year, so it's new. The operative word here is mechanical. What this refers to is the fact that these are standalone systems. They require no outside power. When you install them, you're done. They just sit there waiting for a leak, and when a leak comes along, it shuts off the water supply to whatever outfit you're working with. It's a pleasure for us to be here and a privilege too. Last month we weren't sure we could make it because we did not know what kind of patent coverage and patent protection we could get, and we weren't ready to or weren't able really to proceed without patent coverage. But about 3 weeks ago, we got a notification from the patent office that our patent is going to issue when they get around to it, which means a month or two, and that all of the claims are being allowed. Wow, that's never happened to me before. This is one of those big, broad patents that's got a couple dozen claims at least, maybe 3 dozen. I haven't counted them, and they allowed them all. So that allows us to present whatever we want to this morning. So that's what we're going to do. When we were looking at doing this presentation, preparing for it, we thought about making a PowerPoint like everybody else. Then we looked at what we had, and we'd been making some demonstrations for plumbers and so forth anyway, so we decided, well, we'll just bring this stuff up here and we'll demonstrate them. It's a lot more entertaining, a lot more fun for us, and you never know exactly what's going to happen, so it should be instructive. We're going to show you 3 systems this morning. 2 of them are for water heaters. The first one has been run through the IAPMO testing and listing process, and that's this one there. And the other 2 are prototypes. They all operate somewhat differently, in fact, more differently than you might think. However, they're all based on a single unifying concept, and that concept is based on the fact that we've developed some water-sensitive cartridges. They're extremely water-sensitive. They're not sensitive at all to humidity, but if they're get any appreciable water in them at all, they actuate. And these are placed in a unit, and the unit is placed then wherever you think the water from a leak might show up. If you're working with a water heater system, that would be either in the pan or alongside the water heater if you do not have a pan. For the commode system, you would place that unit either behind the commode or beside the commode, wherever you think the water might show up if it overflows. The way it works is that when the water reaches one of these capsules, cartridges like this, it sets off a chain reaction, and the chain reaction will then actuate a spring-loaded device, and the action then splits, or the activity splits for whether you're working with the commode system or the water heater system. If you're working with the commode system, we include a valve with the commode system, and that spring-loaded device that's in that, or that element, then will close the valve that shuts off the water to the tank on your commode. For the water heater system, there's 2 different units. You have a lower unit which fits down wherever the leak is going to occur. Then you have an upper unit that sits over the existing valve. Jim and I aren't plumbers. We don't cut into water lines and replace valves. So what we do is work with the existing valve that's there. And this sits down over the existing valve, and when this thing triggers, the lower unit then yanks on a wire, and this is it right here, and we'll trip this upper unit, and this is spring-loaded with a very powerful spring, and that then closes the valve in this upper unit. That's the way they work. To sum this up, I guess you'd say these are mouse traps. The water acts as just like a mouse would. It comes along, and when it interacts with the cartridge, it trips a spring just like a mousetrap does, and that spring then shuts off the water, and that happens with either unit, with either system that we're working with. To paraphrase from the movie The Terminator, if you've ever seen that, what these things do is shut off the water supply. That's what they do. That's all they do. The several advantages with these systems. I'll read them off, make sure I don't forget any. They're self-contained, no external power. They're relatively inexpensive. We can build these things for not too much. And they could be really cheap if we can get the market. Our problem right now is the market size. If we could get the market up to, say, 20,000 units or more, then these things can become very cheap. We think the potential market for them is about 1 million units a year, so there's something there to work with. They're easy to install. As I said, Jim and I aren't plumbers. We built these things so that Jim and me can install them. They're reusable, as you will see several times. The competitors that I know of plumb them into the system. And ours, if it trips for whatever reason and you want to reset it, all you have to do is just replace the cartridge. It's cheap and easy. And finally, these things are very reliable. We've had them in our houses for a couple of years now, and they just sit there and wait. And Jim, I think we're ready.